We hear this a lot in education today, that learning has to be engaging. Shorter videos, brighter visuals, faster pacing. If students are watching, clicking, responding, we assume learning must be happening. Over time, this idea has become almost common sense. But today, I want to slow that assumption down. Because the question we should be asking is not simply, how do we make learning more engaging, but something deeper. What kind of attention does learning actually need? In digital environments, engagement has become the most visible signal of learning. Platforms measure clicks, watch time, likes, comments. These metrics travel easily into education. Over time, engagement stops being just a design choice. It becomes an assumption about what learning looks like. If something holds attention, we assume it must be working. But engagement and learning are not the same thing. And when educational media borrows platform logic too quickly, something important can be lost. Research on digital media consumption suggests that viewers often decide whether to continue watching a video within the first few seconds. Because of this, many online platforms optimize their systems around watch time and engagement signals. The faster a video captures attention, the more likely it is to be recommended. This design logic makes sense for entertainment platforms, but when the same logic enters education, it raises an important question. Are we designing learning experiences that maximize attention, or learning experiences that support understanding? Learning does not always look exciting. Sometimes it looks quiet. It looks like hesitation or uncertainty, or sitting with a question that does not resolve immediately. In many cases, learning involves struggling to connect new ideas with what we already know. Studies in cognitive psychology suggest that sustained attention is strongly linked to academic performance. In other words, learning often depends on our ability to stay with something long enough for understanding to form. But these slower processes rarely produce the visible signals that engagement metrics reward, and so they can easily disappear in fast-paced digital environments. Research on cognitive load suggests that working memory has limited capacity. When too many stimuli compete for attention, learners can become cognitively overloaded. Information must first pass through working memory before it can be stored in long-term memory. But when that system is overwhelmed, learning slows down or stops. So attention may be captured, but understanding may never fully form. This creates a tension in digital learning design. The very techniques that maximize engagement can sometimes reduce the condition needed for deeper learning. We can already see this tension emerging in educational technology. Many digital learning platforms are designed to maximize engagement. Some use gamification systems, points, badges, rewards, to encourage continued participation. Others rely on constant interaction or rapid feedback. These strategies can make learning environments feel dynamic and motivating, but they also reinforce a particular idea, that visible activity is evidence of learning. Yet many of the most important moments of learning are not visible at all. They happen when students pause, reflect, or wrestle with an idea long enough for it to make sense. This tension becomes very real when you begin designing learning media yourself. When everything is designed to be engaging, there is very little space left for slowing down. But when we begin experimenting with different design choices, we noticed something interesting. Restraint sometimes invited deeper engagement than stimulation. Subtitles helped learners process ideas at their own pace. Silence created room for reflection. Slower pacing allowed attention to settle instead of constantly reacting. These small choices did not reduce attention. They changed the kind of attention that became possible. Of course, engagement itself is not the enemy of learning. Attention is necessary for learning to begin. Without some level of engagement, students may never encounter the ideas in the first place. The real challenge is balance. Designing learning environments that invite attention, without overwhelming it, creating experiences that are stimulating enough to capture interest but calm enough to allow understanding to take root. So perhaps the goal of educational media is not simply to compete for attention, it is to care for it. Because learning does not always announce itself with clicks or excitement. Sometimes it appears quietly, in the moment when attention stops reacting and begins to stay. And sometimes, that is where learning truly begins.